Hi, this video is about the Friends of Fulbright Scholarship that allowed me to study in the USA for 2 months. I'm gonna tell you my experience and give some advice for future appliers. So this video can be very useful if you are planning on applying to the Friends of Fulbright Scholarship or to any of the other Fulbright Scholarship that are available. And if that's not the case, then you can stay and watch this video anyway, because you're gonna learn one thing or two about the US culture, what our expectations as Argentinians are when you're going there, among other things. But first, let me start telling you a story.
This is the story of Luciano. Me. I've been studying electrical engineering through the last years. Studying such a course increases your chances to get selected as a scholar to study abroad. There are some scholarships that allow you to study in Europe for a semester or even a year, such as Arfitec and IDR, among many others. But when it comes to English-speaking countries, which is what I have always been interested in, there were not many available options when I started my studies. So studying abroad wasn't a thing for me for a long time, until some years ago, when I discovered this studentship, the Friends of Fulbright studentship. It works like this. Every year, some students from all around Argentina are selected to study in different universities of the US for 2 months, specifically for the summer. Everything is covered. The plane tickets, the expenses, the food, the institution enrollment, etc. So as soon as I knew about it, I felt it was the perfect studentship for me, because it gives the opportunity to study in the US, an English-speaking country, and it takes place during the summer. So back in 2016, I decided to apply. My qualifications were great that year, and I felt that that was my moment. So I prepared everything as well as I could, and then I applied. But I wasn't selected that year. So a year later, 2017, I tried again. This time with better qualifications at college, but again I wasn't accepted. So 2018 was the last opportunity for me, because now in 2019 I am not a student anymore. So I worked hard in order to get the best possible presentation. I got an international English certificate. I wrote the motivations letter as well as I could. And of course, I again improved a lot in college. And this time, I was selected for the interview. I prepared it very well and I did it. And after it, I felt it was it. It was the moment. And on October the 5th, they published the results on the webpage. I opened the PDF, a little nervous, expecting good news. And I quickly started reading the list, looking for my name, and I wasn't on the list. Yep, I wasn't on the list. I checked the substitutes list too, which is in the end, and I wasn't there either. I guess this is what failure feels like. So what do you do when you fail? Well, I started sending gratitude emails to ex-teachers, to friends that had been supporting me since the beginning. Some of them asked me if there were people they could know in the list of selected students. And then I started scrolling the PDF and I suddenly read my name. It wasn't my name. That was me. And it was weird because I had previously checked the list and I wasn't on the list. It actually took me 5 minutes to realize that there were 2 lists. The first one were the students financed by the Argentinian Educational Ministry, and the second one were the students financed by the US Embassy. I was on the second one, and that was the moment I realized that that was the beginning of one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, an experience I would never forget. Welcome to the Friends of Fulbright experience, the ultimate guide for future Fulbrighters. I will show you what my experience was like using real footage. But first, let's talk about the scholarship itself. If you want, you can jump directly to the minute showed on the screen. The Friends of Fulbright Scholarship has the next basic requirements: being younger than 25 years old, being a student of an educational program longer than 3 years, which includes almost every discipline, having an average score of 7 out of 10 or better, having a certified English level equivalent to the internet-based TOEFL, not having double nationality, not being a student of the next disciplines. If you meet the criteria, you can apply.
Usually, the application window is between June and September, so always check the official Fulbright webpage for more information. Last year, about 1,000 students applied and only 100 were selected. So here comes a question. What should I do if I want to get elected? And what kind of profile are they looking for?
And here's the answer. Academic performance is not necessarily the most important thing. You should be up to date with most of your finals, and not having failed at any final exam is definitely a plus. But there are more important things. Your English level should be very good, and I mean it, period. In my case, I had a B on the Cambridge First Certificate exam right before I applied, but I think most of the applicants had the Cambridge Advanced Certificate. Having experience in any of the next areas is what will make you stand against other applicants significance: teaching experience, working experience, social participation. For example, I had participated in multiple entrepreneurial competitions along the years before applying, and I had a stimulus scholarship for my academic performance, but most of the Argentinians that went to the same college I did had experience working and teaching. Most of them had participated in volunteering activities. The motivations letter is way much more important than you may think it is. It took me an entire week to write it, and unless you are an expert selling yourself, it shouldn't take less, or even. Once you apply, you just wait, and after some weeks, they announce who have been preselected for an interview. The interview usually takes only 5 minutes, and you can do it by Skype, or you can go directly to their offices in Buenos Aires. Usually it consists of only 2 questions, one in English and one in Spanish. Chances are that if you are in the interview stage, you're probably gonna be finally selected to go. If you use data from the last year, the probability of being selected once you are in the interview stage is almost 90%. And if you're not selected, you can apply again next year. I applied 3 times. Remember? Anyway, here's some typical questions they can ask you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why did you apply to this studentship? What do you have now that you didn't the previous times you applied? Why did you apply for the 3rd time? Yeah, they really asked me that. Have you ever been in the USA before? Usually they want to send people that have never been there yet, though it's not always the case, so be honest. What do you do in your free time? What do you plan to do in the next 5 years? What could be a problem you might have during your stay in the USA? Basically, they want to check that you actually are who you said you were when you applied. So be honest, confident, and genuine, and you're okay. Anyway, if you have questions and need advice for, preparing the interview, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to help you. So now, let's say you were selected. What's next? So first of all, congratulations. Go celebrate because you deserve it. First of all, you're gonna have to sign a contract for your studentship and prepare some documents. But fortunately, the Fulbright organism is really good organizing this kind of things, so you're in hands. So now we arrive to the most expected moment. What it is like. What are Americans like? That's the most frequent asked questions they made when I came back, and the answer is that it's actually impossible to give a simple short answer. Here's why. Every state in the US is a world in itself. I was in the University of Massachusetts, which is in the state of Massachusetts, and so my perspective might be different from people that were in Florida or Texas or California. Besides, I have only been there for 2 months, so my experience might be narrower than you might prefer. Finally, have in mind that what I'm about to tell you are generalizations and so might not be representative for every case. So now is when you promise me something. Have that in mind, and after watching this video, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. So, what are Americans like? They are very patriotic. They have a lot of flags everywhere, even inside malls. They are proud of the country's achievement and have a level of nationalism completely unreachable for an Argentinian. They are very organized and punctual. If Google says the bus will arrive at 4, it will arrive at 4. If a class is supposed to start at 3, it will start at 3, even a little before. And if it's supposed to end at 4, it will end at 4. And if it doesn't, then every single student will get up and leave, even if the teacher is still explaining. In this scenario, the teacher is the disrespectful one and not the student, because he or she is stealing the student's time. The infrastructure in college is ridiculously incredible. The UMass has almost 24,000 enrolled students, most of them living inside the campus. It's very big and you can do a lot of different activities there. You can play different sports and watch the college teams including basketball, ice skating, ice hockey, etc. You can go to the library, a 28 floors building to do your homework, research, and rent a laptop for a day. It even has an entire floor with equipment to record professional video and audio. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how big it is. You can go to the campus store, you can watch a stand-up show, you can go to a party, you can join a club, there are hundreds of them. You can go to the hotel. Yes, the campus has its own hotel. And it's very comfortable. I was actually living there because the campus was full when we, the Argentinians, arrived. And finally, the dining halls. They have a wicked variety of meals, and once you are in, you can repeat as much as you want. In general, once they open themselves, Americans can be really fun and friendly, and you can have great times with them. But at first, it might seem like they are inside their own world, and it can take a time to make them feel confident with you. Some of them can even have a narrow vision of the world. For example, there was this girl that, as soon as met me, asked me if here in Argentina we had free cows, like in the city. Like free cows in the city. Anyway, how was my student lifestyle? Well, I was enrolled in 3 courses. One of them related to my degree, other related to American culture, and the last one was an advanced English course. It consisted of only 12 hours of classes per week in total. That's nothing, but fortunately I was free to ask any other teacher to access their courses as a listener, and in general I had positive responses. And this is something that might be surprising. The educational level is low, and that deserves an explanation. A discussion class usually takes 2 hours in Argentina at the very least. In the USA, they usually last around 1 hour or 1 hour and 15 minutes or something like that. A degree in electrical engineering in Argentina takes 5 years, in the USA it takes 4 years, and the topics are practically much the same. At first, with this information, I thought they were all geniuses. The crucial difference here is how they evaluate. Evaluations in the US seem to be much simpler than in my country, tending to be almost a repetition of something students have already done. There's much to talk about this, so we can continue in the comments if you want. Finally, I must add that in Argentina, you get your degree and then you get a job. You only pursue a master or a doctor degree if you want to be a researcher. In the US, it's more expected to become what they call a graduate student and do a master before going to work as a full-time engineer.
There's much I haven't told you, but I don't want this video to be eternal, so I'm gonna have to leave some of my experience for future videos. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down below. I'd be glad to read them all and answer them all. And if you like this video, please give a like because it took its time for real. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe because this is just the beginning. See you.